Good morning. Welcome again to Morning Devotions, and thank you so much for our time together. I'd like us to return to the book of Acts today, chapter 12, verse 1. I just want to read one verse to you. It was about this time that King Herod arrested some who belonged to the church, intending to persecute them. Isn't it amazing? They belonged to a local church. The Bible gives us three different illustrations in the New Testament of the local church. Jesus describes the local church as a lampstand, and each of us individually are lamps that are placed on that lampstand. The Apostle Peter describes us as a spiritual holy of holies, a new covenant holy of holies, and each one of us are living stones being built together into that place where God's presence dwells. The Apostle Paul describes us as a body, and each of us individually as members thereof. But you and I have to understand, we belong to a group of people. Now, in the modern market-driven church, it seems that churches are selling themselves and trying to convince people to join them. Rather than doing their job of world evangelism, the local church today wants to draw people after themselves. And I'm sorry, that's not our job. It is not my job to try to convince people to come to COP. It is my job to get people born again. It is Jesus' job to add to the church daily those that are being saved. It is Jesus' job to take these living stones and build them together with us. It is Jesus' job to choose which local church each person goes into. So I teach young pastors, don't get involved in this marketing thing. Because people who think that it's their own decision, if they transfer to you, they will transfer from you. About 25% of the population of any city among the Christians just float around among the churches to whatever new special event is going on or whatever new guest speaker is in town, or just, as long as they go to church someplace and there's no commitment. They're like eyeballs rolling down the street by themselves. They're not very effective. They're like fingers crawling down the street by themselves. They're not very effective. They're like a single lamp in the middle of the darkness. They're not very effective. They're like one brick set apart on the ground. There's no building that it's a part of. Their whole lives are rendered ineffective because they will not allow Jesus to join them. And I challenge you today, what local church do you belong to? I'm not talking about where do you attend. Where do you belong? I'm not talking about where you made up your mind to go. Where do you belong? Because you will never be fruitful. You will never be blessed of God until you are where you belong. You will find your fulfillment in the place that God has made for you. And that place is belonging to a local church. I challenge you today. Pray, fast, seek God, and say, Jesus, you're the head of the church. What local church have you joined me to? And then let Him choose the church and let Him build you together with that church. There you will find fulfillment. There you will find spiritual growth, because that's where you belong.